Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Catalyst African Town Hall. My name is Daniel, and I'll be doing this together with Elias.
Yeah, thanks Daniel. Welcome everybody. Bienvenue tout le monde. مرحبا بكم. So it's a Catalyst Africa Town Hall. It's free day, so we'll have our meetings. We'll start with a quick update about Catalyst projects. Afterward, we will. So as you know, things may break. We like documentations, we are experimenting, so things are different from the last fans, but we are focusing, we are not disoriented. So the agenda is, the welcome was done by Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. We will have a quick update. And after that, a presentation about Catalyst Circle by Steve and proposals presentations. So we have many for this week also. Yeah, thank you very much. You're welcome. Marhaban. As you know, the proposal assessment phase is going. Voting will start soon at the 11th August. So we are in the stage of quality assessment by veteran assessors, proposal assessors. Please, next slide. So as you know, there is many stages in Catalyst projects. We are now in the assess QA, the last phase of last part of Catalyst QA. So it's quality assurance about comments by assessors. And we'll go to the voting next week. Afterward, it's the governance and executions and coordinations of the proposals. As you know, Catalyst is the aim to bring innovation to Cardano by tapping in the community and having them propose projects, and if voted, they will be funded and they will deliver to augment our ecosystem. So registration has ended, but if you were registered for last fans from the 5, from the 4th, you can vote in this round of Catalyst. Everyone to vote need a minimum 500 ADA in the time of the snapshot. Snapshot was done in the 4 August. So this week, the registration fees are not very high, you know, and so you need your QR and PIN code to vote via the application that you can install in your phone. So you can find more details in the Project Catalyst for questions. Many projects was delivered during the last fans. We are now in Fund 9, Fund 8 projects are starting to deliver for Fund 8, 7, 5. So we have, there is a list of all the projects funded, all the projects reports that closed also. So please, you can check them to have some idea. It's a growing ecosystem, and we welcome everyone to participate. So there is more than 150 projects funded. So we can share the, yeah, and we have announcements with the Cardano for Climate is hosting an event that focus on proposals that have environmental impact that help sustainability goals in 11th August. Those are Catalyst proposals that aims to tackle the environmental issues, sustainability using Cardano Ecosystem, Cardano platform. So please register to the events, and if you have a project that you want to present, you can send it to them and sign up for the breakout rooms if you want. So we'll be sharing the links. Please participate. It's very interesting. We are coordinating with them and hope you're there. So we have, we'll start by Emilia Sarfo with the proposers Hive. Hi, Emilia, and afterwards Steve with the Catalyst Circles. Bandu for MTDN now, NFT trees for erosion control, Mike, outgoing, Kanjira, mining traceability in war zones, Gentle, KYC registry networks, Mike, and Min with 2 proposals, previous voting and identity for DAOs, and Atala Prism, zero knowledge roles. I don't know how Z copy. So please be with us until the last of this meeting. We will see a lot of innovation coming. Zero knowledge proofs. Thanks, Yunin.
Okay,
So,
Elias, thank you very much.
Briefly in French, so bienvenue. On a vu l'update du projet Catalyst qui vise à encourager l'innovation dans l'écosystème Cardano. Nous sommes dans l'étape de l'assurance qualité, donc les commentaires des assesseurs est en train d'être regroupés et vérifiés par les assesseurs vétérans. Et donc, on verra maintenant que des idées de proposals, de propositions, de projets. On va commencer avec Emilia, puis on va voir une présentation sur le cercle catalyste par Steve. Et ensuite, plusieurs projets de la communauté, vous allez les voir. Merci beaucoup. Donc, please, Emilia, go for it. The floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup. Elias, before Emilia will take over, let me put the rules down. So each presenter have 5 minutes to tell us about his or her proposal. Then after that, you have 5 minutes to take questions and answers. So we are starting with Emilia. Emilia gave us a proposal earlier on, so we added it to the slides. Apart from Emilia, each of the presenters will be sharing their screen with us whilst they are doing their presentation. So Emilia, if you are here, over to you. You have 5 minutes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Yeah, evening. Yeah. Which is the proposal put in DApps and DApps products and integration by the members of the funded proposers circle. The sub-circle is ending. So the members of the sub-circle have done a great job by connecting ones, bring their issues on board to tackle them by connecting to IOG and the circle itself. So we don't want to stop this work. That is why we have put in this proposal. And the name is Proposers Hive. So as you can see, we are here to create a product in the form of an independent proposer group that will champion proposers' interests, address issues faced by proposers, and also welcome proposers in many languages and time zones. So it's not just restricted to English. It's about Vietnamese, Arabic, Swahili, everywhere. So we are connected to LATAM and here also Africa Town Hall and all the others. And as I said, is proposed by members of the sub-circle, which was successfully funded in Fund 8. So this is what we want to do and continue the work. And we are going to continue to do the work in terms of problem sensing and collating problems and publishing them so that proposers can think about what dApps, products, integrations could best solve them. And we also want to create products such as translations of proposers' information into key languages, which are Portuguese, Spanish, Swahili, Arabic, French, Vietnamese. All these languages are important. They are major languages. And we also want to outreach and engage, work with potential future proposers. That is those who have not been funded yet. They haven't even written proposals. We want to be with them in communities that face barriers such as language and time zone. Maybe due to language and their time zone, they are not able to put proposals. We want to engage them so that they will feel comfortable to put in proposals. And we also want to create tools to help proposers to find collaborators and create products in the form of spaces and events where proposers, Africa Town Hall is where this can also happen. We want to create products in the form of events or platforms to help proposers showcase their work and to help them present themselves to D-reps and to voters so that their proposals can be voted. And we also want to be a channel to help proposers' issues to be raised with Circle and IOG. Maybe they have issues with their funding is not coming at the right time, or they are having issues with their implementation of the proposal. Where do they go to? We are the ones that they can come to so that we connect with Circle and IOG and help them. We want to work to eventually make it possible for people to propose and be assessed in languages other than English, as I've said earlier. And meanwhile, also build on the system currently being developed in LATAM, where proposers can have their proposals proofread and edited by competent English speakers. So all these are going to be done by the Proposers Hive. And I think this will help potential proposers, funded proposers, non-funded proposers, to be able to write great proposals that they are sure that they are going to get funding and implement them to impact the society. So this is the work that we are going to do. So we want you to vote for this and also help us better proposal to read on the link that has been put down there. So on idea scale, you can find it in dApps and integrations. So this is the end of the presentation. I am inviting questions, if you have any questions or comments or contribution to make towards this, you are encouraged to do so. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Emilia. Nice proposals. Hope you good luck. This proposal, my question is, this is a continuation of the last proposal. So you just made the upgrade of the scope of the proposal, or it's a new one, not related to. Yeah. I see it's nice scope.
It's a continuation, but not directly for the former years. So it's the same members who want to continue that work. Yeah.
Any questions if you have, please go ahead. I think it's a clear proposal. People know your work already, Emilia. So thank you very much. I will hand the screen to Steve. Yeah, thank you very much. So please, Steve, The floor is yours to present Specialist Circle.
Okay. Thank you, Elias. I know some of the people in this meeting right now. I'll try to be really quick to introduce myself. I'm just a guy, right? I'm not a programmer. I'm not a technical specialist, and I don't have any money. But I did invest in Cardano, what I could come up with a couple of years ago, and what I loved about Cardano was it satisfies two different parts of my personality, right? The one side of my personality is, kind of a anarchist who always liked the idea of hackers, people who hack the world and make it fair. I like that this open and permissionless blockchain protocol will let that happen, is letting that happen. People are doing it, and I really like that. And what I like about it is a community, no matter what size you say, can do that with the Cardano protocol. They can just say to themselves, hey, we want an application, and we can build it and we can run it on the Cardano protocol, and they can just do that. And they don't care what a rich young white guy like Charles Hoskinson does, right? It doesn't matter. And I love that. I love that. The other side of my personality is I'm a social guy. I like people. I like the idea of a community building something larger than itself. And that's why I kind of started getting involved in Catalyst. And that's how I came to know Mercy and so many other wonderful people in the Catalyst community. What Catalyst is trying to do is very, very, very difficult. I mean, it's really hard. In my view, and this is just the way I look at the world and the way I've come to understand history for the last few hundred years, is there is no successful democracy. The rich guys always get what they want, and the poor people get, they get the shaft. They get screwed everywhere, right? There's no racism about it. They want to take all of our money and they want to take all of our stuff. They don't care what race we are or where we come from. And Catalyst has the opportunity to do something different. And when Mercy was elected as a member of the circle, and she asked me to be in this subcircle with Amelia and everybody else, Stephen and Vanessa and Alex and me, I was very honored, because I like and admire and respect all of these people. For the last few weeks, I've been going to the circle meetings, and I wanted to let you all know directly what's going on right now, because the one thing that this circle is trying to do is create the election process for the next circle. And the whole community is, I think, tired of what the circle as it has been. They want to see some change, and everybody on this circle recognizes that. And so there is a direction right now that's being worked on. I just came out of a meeting, a working meeting with some of the people in the circle, and Tommy Atkinson, I don't know how to say his last name. Tommy represents the proposal assessors right now. And he's created this document with some other people in his, what he calls GPS group. I can't remember what the GPS stands for, growth, or I don't know, something. I put a link to his document, his working document in there. And so the way it looks like we're going to go is that there's going to be a redefined group of 5 roles. And within those roles, there will be subcircles, and they will be larger than the subcircles that we see now with this current version of the circle. I understand not wanting to get into this. I really do. I don't want to be into this. I would have never done, if it hadn't have been Mercy, I would have never been on a subcircle, because governance, committees, meetings, I don't have a lot of patience for it. But Mercy asked me, and so I did. This opportunity is real, and so I've taken it very seriously, you know. But the opportunity that the Catalyst represents and the circle represents is so pivotal and so important in the sense of what we might be able to build, right? What we might be able to build. Nobody believes that it's a guarantee. Nobody knows whether or not it will be successful. But when we think about what Hoskinson laid out, that attracted all of us, you know, his roadmap, bank the unbanked, you know, push power to the edges. The Catalyst community, they have to take that responsibility, right? And I think, you know, it's very difficult for all of us, right? Because when he says banking the unbanked, you think, okay, that's interesting. How's he going to do that? And, you know, it's not his job, right? They built the protocol. You know, like, you have to want to do your own banking if you want to quit using banks. You have to learn how to do that. And it's hard, I know. I mean, it intimidated the hell out of me. It's been a process. And I think he was correct in that, you know, for people in Africa, they've got an advantage, right? You know, because out of financial necessity, they use tools like M-Pesa and they do whatever they do because they can't count on banks. They don't even have, you don't even have banks in a lot of places, right? I mean, that's kind of the truth, right? So this is a real opportunity, but for you to take advantage of the opportunity, you've got to step into it. And I want everybody to feel enthusiastic about it. And I don't mean enthusiastic of, oh boy, things are going to change, but I can affect that change, right? You know, and I don't mean me, I mean you. You can affect that change. I want you to feel like you can do that. You know, like there's literally no reason for y'all to pay attention to me. I have no resume for you. I have no skills. But when I got involved in Catalyst, I kind of made a decision for myself. And I thought, well, I don't want a job, but if I can be involved and somehow help, I want to. And if I can do that and just be myself, that's the best of all possible worlds. Because I don't have to, you know, I don't have to do homework. I don't have to learn Plutus. You know, there's a lot of things that I don't have to do that if I was to get involved in any other community, I would have to do. And in Catalyst, I can just be myself and I can speak from my heart.
Yeah, nice.
I really, I want you to feel like you have an opportunity here, because what's going to happen is these elections are coming. And as we kind of figure out how to define who's being elected and what's being elected, what they're being elected for, there could be a role for you. There really could be a role for you. And what I don't want to see in Circle version 4 is what I've been seeing for the last month and sitting in these Circle meetings. Because you know what I've been seeing in these Circle meetings? 7 white men. You know, it's not representative. I don't like looking at it. I like all of the people. They're all really great people. I mean, it's not that they're assholes, but it's not representing the world. And I think for Africa to best be served, and for Latin America to best be served, and for Asia to best be served, they need to take part in this process. you need to take part in this process. And so I really just want to encourage y'all to look at this document that I posted in the chat and think about it. I still have to think about it. It's not, I mean, it was a good friend of mine in the Cardano community where like I was having some frustrations, you know, about some of these processes and everything. I'm having a conversation. I was like, well, why don't we do this? And why don't we do that? And he was like, well, Steve, you know, that's a centralized way of thinking, you know, and I am that way, you know, I mean, I've been raised in a centralized kind of culture. Solutions to me kind of take the form of what we have seen in the past. But what we have seen in the past is not what I want to see in the future. And I just want to say, please consider it. If you feel like you have the time, if you feel like you have something to say, then stand up for an election. Stand up for this election. What's going to happen in this next version of Circle is that it is going to be expanded. There's going to be, I don't know, it sounds like there may be 15 people that will get elected. And those 15 people are going to need sub-circle people, right? They're going to need people because in each, when you look at the document, you'll see 5 functional elected roles. And they will be doing different parts of the work needed in the community. And so each one of these 5 is going to have a group, and they're going to need help, right? Because it's a lot of stuff to do. And I just want to make that suggestion and to let y'all know what's going on. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Good message. Yeah, we are encouraging all the community to be part of the next, to participate in the next circle, to vote, and to if they see to participate, to be a member, yeah, to go forward and be. I think every circle was an upgrade of the last one, and the next one will be greater and more inclusive and with more capability to act for the project Catalyst. Thank you very much, Steve. So for the next, we'll go to the next. If have you any questions for Steve? So if you have, please go ahead.
Yes, if I can add something to what Steve said before. Yes. Steve, I felt very emotional when you're talking about what you're saying. And I also felt that I should add one more thing, and that is part of the reason that most of us, I'm from Tanzania, fail to appear in these meetings is that we face several challenges that are not common in other places. You know, the infrastructure, the internet infrastructure is not to par with compared to other countries. And that alone can be a problem, leave alone the costs that we have to incur every day to be able to even be online. So there are some people like myself who force ways to try and be here, but at the same time, I do understand there are people who would love to be here, but they're limited by the infrastructure that won't allow them to be here. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I feel you, Mike. I mean, the only real pain I've really felt since I've been in Catalyst by being in Catalyst was when the first proposal I was a co-proposer on was the planning routes in Africa, and we didn't get the funding, you know, because we really wanted to fund some infrastructure in a few countries so that there would be a place you could go to take part in these things. And that's been, you know, that process of making internet accessible for more people has just been a real struggle. that's the easiest way to say it. It's just a struggle. But I'm hoping, I would like to throw out the question, and maybe you, because I'd like to know if anybody's done this, but if you go to Starlink's website right now, do they make it possible if you're in Tanzania or Ghana or anywhere, do they because what they're offering in North America now is I don't have to wait if I want to get a recreational vehicle version of their satellite. I can get it immediately. And I didn't know if they were offering that yet in Africa, because what the way that they do that is you don't get the same speed. You know, like I'm on the waiting list for the real satellite, their original satellite. I'm on the waiting list for that still. But with this, they charge less for this recreational vehicle version of the satellite because they don't guarantee you a certain internet connection internet speed. They don't guarantee you that. It's way faster than what I have at home. But you know, I don't know if that's possible yet for y'all to order that in Africa. I've been wanting to talk to Mercy about this, some other people, but you know, this may be a solution that's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, so I was able to do a quick Google search, and it turns out they made an announcement that they will start the service somewhere around July and September in 2 African countries. They mentioned Nigeria and Mozambique. At the same time, you mentioned that you're on the waiting list, and so I'm trying to imagine if you're in the United States and you're on the waiting list. I can't imagine what will be happening out here, you know?
Yeah, well, I don't know they've changed things as they go, you know, they're iterating themselves. So I don't know why, but you know, like I have friends, you know, within a couple of miles of me who have this recreational vehicle version, and they are very, very, very happy. I mean, it is fast. I mean, it's like 100 to 150 megabyte download speed, and better than what I have for an upload speed. So it's, you know, it's here, but it's, you know, I don't think it's completely everywhere, anywhere, you know.
Yeah, some difficulties, but we'll go through them. Thanks you, Steve. Thanks you, Mike. So for the next presentations, it's by Bandu, Baluzza, NF3s for erosion control, Dano. Are you here, Boaz?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get me very well?
Yeah. So please go ahead. You can share your screen and go for the presentations. The floor is yours.
Good. Can you see my screen, please? Hey.
No, I can't.
I can't see it.
Yeah, we can't see it. Daniel, Boaz have the rights to share screens? Can you help us with that?
Yes, Boaz is a co-host.
Okay, so cool. Yeah.
Good. So can somebody see my screen, please?
Yeah. So yeah, please go full screen and start.
Great. Hello, everybody. I'm Bandu Balume Boaz from TR Congo. I'm going to present you our project, which is Multidano NFTs for erosion control. We are in Goma City, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and we are a set of 7 young people within 4 developers. I'm going to present you the problem of our project. Soil erosion is the cause of the degradation and fear of soil, fauna, and flora, and is therefore one of the key elements of extreme disasters and climate change. Democratic Republic of the Congo is an environmental powerhouse and a solution to the planet's climate crisis. We have to partake to this by controlling soil erosion. So our solution is to plant fast-growing fertilizing trees in areas at risk of erosion and turn each tree into a dynamic NF3, facilitating their protection, tracking, and expansion. We'll use NF3 to facilitate the tree's protection, tracking, and expansion. The projects will be implemented by the Goma Cardano Hub, which is raised by Isdergel, an environmental protection giant within experts. Most businesses have planted a number of trees to help offset their carbon footprint, but what we're going to do is allow you to plant trees. So to combat soil erosion, and then will allow owners NF3s to adopt a tree and see how that tree grows. You will be able to purchase an NF3 that will correspond to a specific tree in our nursery and will have access to certain information about the tree, including pictures and or videos, so that you can see its growth. You will have access to the tree's unique history. The NF3 will also give you a voice in how the tree is managed as part of our core principles. There may be option to make something like a tree paste to protect the bark of the tree, for example. Relevant experience from the Goma Cardano Hub. We have experimental acacia nurseries for reforestation since June 2020. Production of educational content on Project Catalyst Haskell and Plutus Goma Cardano Stake Pool. And we have 4 developers and technical professionals weekly meeting promoting Cardano blockchain are usually done. I thank you. Any questions? They are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Boaz. So
Great.
nice projects. Please, if anyone have a questions, you have the floor. Yeah,
Great,
please, Shira.
This is the main idea of our project. If there are questions,
Yeah,
come.
I think
I'm
Shira
sorry
has a
for-
question. Yeah, no
Yes,
worries.
I was just wondering, does the partnership with the nursery already exist, or is the nursery, I guess, already owned by the group, or just wanted to know a little bit more about where things stand with the nursery.
What's the question, please?
The question, if I
Do you
understand- yeah,
already
please.
have for the NF tree? You stated that we could see pictures of the trees in the nursery. So I was just wondering, does the relationship with the nursery already exist? Is this building on an existing relationship, or is a relationship with a nursery does that still need to be accomplished as part of the proposal?
I'm sorry. A French speaker. I don't get you very well. If you can write down,
Je peux traduire, Boaz. So, je peux traduire, il n'y a pas de souci. So, Shira demande, est-ce que vous avez un partenariat avec une pépinière déjà existante, ou si vous allez créer cette pépinière dans le cadre de ce projet? So.
En effet, tel que j'ai exposé dans notre projet, nous avons déjà du partenariat là-dessus parce que notre stake pool est hébergé dans une institution environnementale, Isdergel. Je ne sais pas, dans les liens que je vais vous envoyer, vous allez voir sur quoi Isdergel travaille. Mais il existe déjà un partenariat et cela, c'est depuis 2020.
Très bien, très bien. Donc, je vais traduire. Boaz says that they are incubated in an environmental organization. So they have a nursery there and they have a partnership with an existent one. So the projects will focus on the partnering with this nursery and creating those NFTs and the impact related. So please correct me, Boaz, if I miss something in the translation.
we are in a partnership with ISDERGEL. ISDERGEL is an environmental institution, and that partnership, it's from the year 2020. Yeah, it will not be in the case of this proposal, this project, but we have the partnership since 2020. That is it.
Merci beaucoup. Hope that responds to the question, Shira. So any other questions? You can have your questions in French also for people in DRC or in other parts of Africa that speak French. On Swahili, we have Baba Elliot who can translate also. So we hope to be more inclusive about languages. Thank you very much, Boaz.
I have a quick question.
Yeah,
can you please post a proposal link in the chat?
Yeah, it will be good. It's good practice. If everyone that presented share with us his proposals link in the chat, so we can go and see it there and mark it for voting. Thank you very much. A good point. So we're moving to the next proposal. So Mike and Dava, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll start by putting the link to my proposal in the chat. There, I think we have it. So basically, my proposal is very simple, and I also try to be very brief because I believe it's a very obvious idea. It's one of those aha moments that you have once you're going through what I was going through. So a short background, I'm a graphic designer, and I'm also a developer. I also happen to have a degree in accounting. I have been practicing freelance work in graphic designing and development. I've also been hired a few times as an accountant, but eventually I felt more comfortable being a graphic designer as a freelancer. And I was also managing, my timetable was more scalable that way. And so I thought that was the way for me to go. Now, done with my introduction, let's go to the proposal. So within the proposal link, there's a PDF file. So my internet is not very good right now, so I'm trying to limit how much I can do. So as you can notice, I'm not doing any screen sharing or video chat. It's because I'm sacrificing all that for the sake of good audio quality, because I believe it's best that you understand me more than you see what I have to say.
If you would like to, if you do have a document you would like to send me, I would gladly share it.
I will do that, absolutely, thank you. So there's a document. Yes, so there's a document within the link I just shared in the chat. There's a PDF file named Outgoing. I attached it. And so if we can open it, I'll be going through it really quickly. So basically, what I thought to myself is Cardano needs popularity, needs functionality, needs people to be using it, right? So what's the best way to do that? And then I thought the best way to do that is to create a marketplace where people use it as a daily method of payment. Now, you might think that's a very radical idea, and I agree with you. And so for those who are radical, here's my response. Number one, the decentralized financial aspect of the app will be an alternative to the traditional method. So within the app, in basic terms, the app is a marketplace where people do a number of things, including visiting places, seeing what's happening, and it will be localized in Tanzania. So it will be catering to Tanzanians and local producers in Tanzania. So basically, another task that we have is empowering small businesses in Tanzania. So for those who are finally able to open the PDF file, I'll go through quickly. So it's a one-stop shop due to the fact that on this platform, primarily where low, medium, and high-income earners can search for reliable information and make safe transactions from our trusted vendors. So basically, again, here we see that we'll be having vendors, third-party vendors. We can also be vendors ourselves, including depending on how things will go down the line. But basically, this is what we are doing. And so as we go on to the next page, I'll be talking about how it will be, we'll make services and products more available, more accessible, and more convenient due to, of course, taking advantage of the technology we have right now. And so just creating a platform where people can have goods and services at the time they need, and also making them accessible and, of course, convenient to them. So I won't read everything. If you have time, I'll let you have time to read it, because I just want you to get the idea of the concept. And finally, I also mentioned the features, and I created a UI, a representation of what the app will look like. And so you can see I mentioned a few features. Of course, this will be subject to change in the future, but for the time being, this is the vision right now. It's a one-stop shop where people come and can come and do a variety of things, including match day tickets, tickets for concerts, transportation, getting your tickets for a bus, for regional transportation, moving from one place to another within the country, food, so a marketplace basically. And so I also try to highlight the features and what we'll be doing. So we have match day where you can get basically. So as I proceed, you're going to see some things that are familiar in the sense that, okay, I've seen an app that does what this does, but what makes this different is we're trying to put all these things in one place, but at the same time, achieving the primary goal, which is to familiarize people with payments that are in cryptocurrency. So as I said before, cryptocurrency, so these decentralized financial aspects of it will be an alternative. So there will be numerous methods of payments, and Cardano, ADA, will be an option within this. And so just to summarize, it's a marketplace where we will encourage the use of cryptocurrency. And yeah, I think that's that. There are so many other pages I didn't read because I'm trying to save time. And I also know there are other people who want to make their presentations, but I just wanted to give this quick briefing. And also I advise strongly that if you get time, please download the PDF file. I was more elaborate in it, and yeah, I put much thought into it. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Nice presentations, Mike. Thank you. Yeah, it's good, the marketplace. So if anyone have a questions, I have this question. Is the products will be mainly in Tanzania, or what is the localizations of the where can people live to buy, to use this app? It is Tanzania or all of Africa? What do you see? What do you plan for that?
Yes, thank you. So the products will be primarily based in Tanzania. And there are several reasons I'm doing this. Right now, of course, there are services that need attention, need to be catered to, and there are businesses that need recognition and the platform so that people can know what is going on, small businesses and such. In many countries like Tanzania, in many other developing countries, unemployment is at an all-time high. And so there are many people who are trying to invest by themselves using their own money from their own pockets. Sometimes they get loans to do so. And so at the end of the day, it's a place where people can use it as a platform. You know, instead of Instagram for photos, this will be Instagram for business. And the method of payment can be, as I mentioned before, in cryptocurrency. And so yes, to answer your question, I base it to be locally in Tanzania and to support local businesses in Tanzania.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, You have a good design. I love
I
it.
have a
You have a
question.
good designers. Yeah, please go ahead.
So when we talk about local businesses in Tanzania, are they capable of receiving cryptocurrencies yet? I mean, have you talked to those kind of, I mean, how much of an effort is that? I mean, they need to get wallets.
Thank you. I also wanted to mention a few things.
Right.
Good question. So go
Sorry,
ahead, Mike.
I didn't. That a question? I'm sorry. Was that a question?
Yeah, the question is how easy is for Tanzanians to be paid in crypto and to use those funds in Tanzania? So it is I understand Jeremy's questions. This is a problem in many countries. It's difficult to convert crypto to local currencies. What do you plan for that?
Yes. So my plan for this will be on the third page. I think no, it's the second page. This page addresses
we can't hear you, Mike. So, Mike, I don't know if it's me or everybody, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I
think
hear him as well.
Okay.
Mike has a connection problem.
Yeah. So he mentioned the second page.
Accessibility to see that it is possible, including my own. Smartphones are very common. Steve earlier mentioned people using M-Pesa can be used. That can, hey, so you can do this. This service is available. It's accessible.
Yeah. So my question is, if people are already using M-Pesa and it works, why would they now go to use cryptocurrency and do all the effort? Where's the benefit in that? That's my question, right? Where's the problem? If M-Pesa is working and everybody is kind of using M-Pesa, what is the benefit of crypto? Because I mean, there's some downside in crypto, right? With the volatility right now and all that, and maybe regulation and all, and the responsibility of owning your own wallet and all that, right? It has some downsides too, right? So I want to know what the upsides are in comparison to the current solution or technique people are using.
Yes. Okay. If I understood your question correctly, what advantage does it bring to the Cardano community?
No, I don't think
nothing with Cardano community. It is with onboarding random people who already have using M-Pesa, right?
Yes.
So if I could just jump in, I think the positive in using crypto for these types of transactions is the fact that you get out of inflationary currencies and you start doing your business in a disinflationary currency that's going to grow in value over time.
Absolutely. And again, Africa presents a very good specimen in terms of inflation. When you're looking at countries like Tanzania, the inflation rate, I was researching it, I wrote it somewhere. I'm having trouble trying to find it, but it is an astronomical number in the almost 200%, actually 15% annually for the past 48 years. Tanzania, this is Tanzania specifically. That's the inflation of the Tanzanian shilling. For the past 48 years, we have been witnessing inflation at 15% annually. And so presenting an option as cryptocurrency seems like a very, very much improved alternative. And again, the costs, the transaction fees that will be incurred when making these transactions will be significantly lower compared to the ones that are now charged by other vendors like M-Pesa and so forth.
Thank you, Mike.
I just also would like
point.
to say one other thing too. What I like about this project is that, especially, let's say if you're supporting the tourism sector, like in the sense of people who want to come to a country and go to a sporting event and all of that stuff. And then they don't have to worry about the local currency if they're able to transact in cryptocurrency. And also, I think right now, when you're dealing with cryptocurrency, there needs to be more, people need to be figuring out how to create an actual economy, like economies. There's no point in having internet money if there's nothing to transact on. And so what I like about this project is, again, they're trying to bring cryptocurrency to the real economy. And so this is a really good project.
Absolutely good projects. So we need to jump on the next projects. Kanjira for the mining traceability in a war zone. Kanjira, can you the floor is yours. Can you go ahead?
Thank you. I'm here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, we hear you, Martin Musanga.
I'm having some problem with my connection, but I hope it's going to do. Thank you. Good. Yes, I said this is Martin Musagara from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I am going to present you mining traceability in a war zone. First, let me share the link of the proposal.
Yeah. Okay. We see the slides when we see the link. Go ahead. Thank you.
Great. Mining traceability. Why? The Democratic Republic of Congo has a really strategic set of minerals, but these ones are not really benefit to local populations because really of an organized system of smuggling. Things are not really going in the right ways for the population. So please, I don't know, my mate shared his screen, but I don't know, can you let me please share the mine? I have the slides, please.
So Daniel will give you rights to share the screen, and you can go ahead.
Yes, I've made him the co-host.
Okay. So you have the right. You can share your screen, Martin. Please go ahead.
I hope it will do it. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's
great.
Yeah.
So first, let me tell you.
Just go full screen.
Something
so
about
you can see better.
Cardano. You can see.
Yes, we can see. So please make.
So first, I want to tell you about what is being done, events and projects.
Martin, a moment, please. You can full screen, please.
Full screen, exactly. Please.
Full screen. It isn't the full screen. Oh.
Martin, just check the lower right side. You see an icon like a screen. Lower right.
Lower right.
Yeah, lower right.
Oh, good.
Yes, click on it. No, not that one.
All right.
Just before, come down. You come down just before the zoom and minimize at the down. Yes,
the little icon. Yeah, this one.
That one.
Oh, thank you. So first, I want to tell you about events and projects held to promote Cardano in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We have with the Goma Water Hub, we organize regular meetups on a weekly basis in the Water Hub in Goma. So, and we hosted the Cardano Summit in 2021. And actually, we got 4 developers and technical professionals, and we are we're going for Plutus and Natala Prism project-based learning, and we got weekly meetups since October 2020 to promote Cardano blockchain, to show it, especially to students. So
Nice.
there's another project implementing Atala Prism DID in Eastern Congo University was fully funded, and it's ongoing. And the Cardano Goma Stake Pool also had been funded, and is being delivered successfully. And in the last weeks here, we minted our first block, and we hope it's not going to be the last. We're going to do more and more. So yeah, as other guys said, it's, you know, in Africa we're always having some problems with infrastructures. Even here my connection is getting me insane, but we hope this is going to be fine in upcoming days, you know. And language as English is not frequently spoken in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and this matters for some people who want to join the community. So you know, as I said about infrastructures, energy, and still the household incomes are still very low. So let me quickly go to mining trustability. As I said, the Democratic Republic of Congo has those strategic mining reserves, but these are not benefiting to local populations, really because of this smuggling system that is not allowing that. And as you know, the Democratic Republic of Congo has an history of providing resources without moral linkages. As you can hear people say, blood minerals, phantom uranium, children cobalts, and so on. But we hope blockchain can change this narrative. So why we have chosen carries and artisanal mining, because, you know, artisanal mining are these operators who help all this system to be functioning, from producing to selling minerals. But these ones are not really recognized with the work they do. So we targeted small scale miners. They're operating under a centralized license. And the opportunity is that the current certified trading chains and the scheme showed its limits. So cooperatives, miners have sought to organize themselves in cooperatives, and blockchain offers more. So the roadmap is like, we are going to link the identification fields to the current certified trading chains and scheme, ideally offer and master issuing key to carries. So we are going to, with the registry, we're going to build a website which would list registered carries and their affiliated miners, characteristics of minerals to be highlighted for each carry. For the onboarding, for the onboarding, we shall target. Sorry, can I move this? Yeah. We shall target carries near the city of Goma. You know, the hub is installed in Goma, near the city of Goma, especially in Masisi territory. So we'll target 3 states that we will work with those people and help them. Can you hear me, please?
We hear you very clearly.
So good. So as you know, we may have also some challenges like accessibility. You know, those minerals are not really near the town, and those areas there is really insecurity, and those miners, local miners are really, they have a great mobility, and that can prevent also to be reaching them. So sorry.
I think the time is up by 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, okay. More than 5 minutes,
thank
7
you.
or 8
Thank
minutes.
you.
It's good presentations. Yeah, Martin. Thank you. Good
Yeah.
project. So if I understand, it's making the ID and traceability for minerals that are mined in Congo.
Exactly.
Yeah. My question, this proposal is about a proof of concept, an MVP, or about the full product that will help you have this traceability and identification?
I think actually it's going to be about an MVP. I think that's going to be that.
Yeah, so fair. Yeah, fair enough.
Good.
So I have a question. Let's put some commodity which I think you're focusing on diamonds, right? Or on any commodities or minerals, or what is the focus? I mean,
oh, good. Can I answer?
Yeah, please.
Oh, good. Thank you. You know, I forgot to mention that Masisi territory has reserves, especially in cobalt. In cobalt, you know, cobalt is actually a mineral converted for these technologies and other things. So especially we're going to focus on that.
Okay, but how is going to be the link of this? So I have cobalt, right? This kind of pieces of cobalt, and then I have something on the blockchain. How do you link that together, right? And that's the first question of a technical issue, because I can just exchange that cobalt with other cobalt, right? I mean, that's the oracle problem we have in blockchain. And the second thing is, when we talk about this international trading, and I know it for diamonds because I've worked the Kimberley process, there it must be recognized by governance, by states, because you go through customs, right? And if like me or like a community in Congo does their own certificate, the government, I say it now really roughly, gives a shit about that, right? I mean, when you want to export something, you need a certificate from the government. You cannot make your own certificate in that sense. So at least about the diamonds, right? I'm not sure about all the other commodities we are talking about here, but for diamonds, it is a certification process governed by international law. It's called the Kimberley process. So, you know, I mean, they are also thinking about doing certificates on blockchain in the future, right? Because there's been some fraud doing with those paper certificates. But at the end, when you cross the borders with a rough diamond, you need the Kimberley certificate, right? And that's issued by the government. So making your own certificate in that sense, for diamonds at least speaking, makes no sense. And I doubt it makes sense for other communities at this level, at this stage too. You cannot self-certificate something if you talk about international trade.
Oh, good. I think the question of certificating, we are going to have even some meetings with some authorities to be discussing on that, and I hope we will have a solution that will allow us to implement this DApp.
All right. Sorry. Can I say something?
Go ahead, Idio.
All right. So I think I really love the idea of this. Like, I love the conceptual idea, but in terms of the feasibility, I think it has a lot. Which these are the questions I already had in mind. And
can you repeat, please?
Yeah, I'm coming to the question. I'm actually appreciating what you did, and before I try to comment on it. So a lot of questions I had is what the other person also had, but the concept of trying to protect our natural resources in Africa is very, very essential. What I would advise is because there are a lot of legal and compliance issues you would really fall into, and it will really, really put a lot of bureaucratic problems in this while you're trying to create the solution. Can you focus on trying to localize it at first? Is there a way you can just localize the solution? Is there a local approach to this that can just limit you to maybe local authorities where you can just use it as a proof of concept, and then after that, you now see how you can reiterate it largely? But personally, coming from Africa and understanding how our natural resources get depleted on various levels, I deeply understand this particular solution you're trying to do, but I think going all out for it may not be very intelligent. I think the wise thing may just be, let's try to see how we can solve it on the most minuscule level, and then from there we now try to see how we can just scale it up. I think that would be very nice. But I understand the problem, and I really hope that you'll be able to provide us this solution.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I also like to add something? I'm sorry if I'm interrupting someone, but basically, I think right now we are trying to live in a decentralized world. And to get there, there will be hurdles that we'll have to go through. There will be barriers that we'll have to go through. But the end goal will be to live in a decentralized world where we won't have to deal with compliance issues. We won't have to deal with all these errors, all these challenges that we're facing today. So I don't mind putting emphasis and effort and energy, right, into dealing with all these compliance issues as long as we have the end goal in mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. We need to go through hard work to be able to implement blockchain with everyday processes, and compliance is a big issue, but we are working to achieve it. Yeah, so thank you, Martin, for this presentation. And we go to the next one, KYC registry for network by Gentil Samvura. Gentil, are you here? Don't think so. We'll go directly to.
Sorry.
Yeah?
If Samvra is not inside, I can do something because we are in the same.
Can't understand you. Was
he should have another meeting? Can I go?
Hey,
I can't hear you.
Miss Elias, I say Samvura should be in another meeting, and I can do something about KYC because we are in the same hub.
Was this in regard to QA DAO?
Do you get me, please?
No, I think he says he wants to present for KYC registry instead of Gentil.
Of course, yeah, that is it. May I go on?
Elias is rugged right now. Daniel, what's the verdict?
Good. Let me.
Hello,
yeah.
Boaz.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to present on behalf of Gentil? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, QIC for Samvura.
Okay, please go ahead.
Good. Let me share the screen.
The KYC registry network, right?
Sorry, I lost my connections, everyone. So sorry.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you very much. So this is Africa. It's time for Nin presentations. He has two for us: plurial voting and identity for DAOs, and Atala Prism zero knowledge proofs, plus Hyperledger areas. Please, Nin is an active member of the Cardano community. Yeah, please, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Boaz, did you want it to go first or okay. All good. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah. We see.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So hi, everyone. My name is Nin. I'm the CEO of Snabrelia. And today I'm going to talk about two proposals. But first, it's about plural voting and identity for DAOs. You see, the problem is that a lot of the Cardano DAO tooling in and out of and DAOs in and out of Cardano have no choice but to resort to either one token, one vote, or one person, one vote with a full KYC requirement. And if especially on Catalyst, right, you have a lot of concern of whale effect that stems from really the tyranny of majority. In this case, it's the tyranny of majority of tokens. Majority tokens, if you do one person, one vote, is majority of voters who pursue exclusively their objectives at the expense of minority fractions. Fractional control problems have been here ever since voting started, right? And so even James Madison in the Federalist, that really was one of the defining papers of the free world today, he mentioned that the most powerful factions will have control and make decisions based not on the common good for everyone, but to benefit itself. Other groups and the common good will both suffer, of course. You can see some well voting affecting catalysts already happening since Fund 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those ones that are encircled are proposals that have been voted in, that have not received a very high PA and CA score. Awesome research done by David Perlman. Highly recommend it to check it out. Our solution is to simply build an open source DAO tooling. This is specifically for DAOs. I think Catalyst is a huge DAO, so if they would like to implement this later on, when it's done, would love to support that. And the whole point is to build in the Sybil attack resistance with a proof of reputation layer and proof of identity layer, as well as to power different governance models, right? Whether it's a democratic one person, one vote, or plutocratic one token, or one ADA, one vote, or meritocratic where you vote with your reputation points. And other advanced governance systems and voting systems, just like pro-quadratic voting, which is one of the most efficient, if not the most efficient governance for advancing public goods, including things like social impact, climate, or open source. As we all know, Cardano is the blockchain governance, and here's a quick video for you for those of you that don't know what plural quadratic voting is.
How strongly you feel for it. You will not just be voting for or against an issue. Instead, you will be given a set number of credits to cast votes across multiple issues. But here's the trade-off. If you want to cast more votes for the same issue, the more credits it will cost you. How much more? The number of credits spent will be the number of votes squared. Casting one vote will cost you 1 credit. Casting 2 votes for the same issue will cost you 4 credits in total, and so on and so forth. With a limited number of credits, you have to prioritize voting for the issues that are more important to you. The squaring of credits with each additional vote deters you to put all your eggs in one basket, since it is not the best use of your credits, unless you feel extremely strongly for the issue, that is. In fact, the freedom to express your intensity of priority across issues helps protect the interests of small interest groups from what the majority prefers. It is not a winner-takes-all situation. Let's put the importance of that into perspective. In most situations, we are used to having only.
Awesome. Why does this matter, right? When Cardano was built, or when Catalyst was built, or when a DAO is built, right? You start with initial core team. The founders usually get a ton of tokens to vote, right? And then they need to find others, group of casual contributors to join, and then give them tokens and some voting power. But as the community grows and we have different people globally join, right? They don't have as many tokens as the early adopters. And because of that, it creates an unequal voting power between someone who joins recently and someone who joins at the beginning. Quadratic voting and other voting systems, this proposal will allow different DAOs and organizations to adopt different type of voting for different stages of the organization and incentivize people to vote, and at the same time, keep voting fair and more equitable.
If we're building successful DAO is making fair.
I'm gonna skip this video, but I highly encourage you guys to check it out. It talks about Governance C, which is fully decentralized Sybil attack resistance that will empower and make quadratic voting or one person, one vote democratic voting possible. Why now? DAOs are growing at 8 to 9 times. 8 to 9 times speed. Over the past year, you can see not just the number of DAOs increase, but also the number of proposals within DAOs and number of votes within DAOs. DAO tool makers are making exponential revenue as well. So this is something that's not both socially needed, but also commercially feasible. Why us? Well, open source quadratic voting has been funded or in F8 and delivered. This past weekend, we released a minimum viable product. I invite everybody to go on snapbella.com and create a crowdfunding campaign. We have dedicated team for Atala Prism and self-sovereign identity decentralized identifiers, as well as Plutus pioneers for smart contracts, and a pretty large engineering team overall that's been, winning hackathons. We're part of the DAO Alliance and working with other open source DAO toolings like ADAO, Clear Contracts, Conma, and Boss DAO, and many others to push the whole Cardano DAO ecosystem forward. I have awesome co-founders, Frank, Beatrice, and James. Frank, for example, was the CEO of Eucratic DAO, and all of them, we all are very passionate about pioneering a new path to equal opportunities for everyone, and that includes having a more equitable representation, fan voting. We're real people, not bots. We have awesome co-founders, part of SeedStars and Launch House, and Mark, for example. I just did a podcast with him, and he's the CTO of Entrepreneurs Talk in Africa. Thank you, and please vote.
Thank you, Nick. It's great presentations with the important data to know. The study about whales on voting in Catalyst, yeah, it's new thing for me. Yeah, I heard about some complaints, but I haven't proved, so I dismissed it. Thank you. If anyone have questions, please go ahead.
There you go. Here's our proposal.
Yeah. So thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. Can we go to the second presentations and?
Yes.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, please, Mike.
Yes. I was thinking. He mentioned something about being able to create a fair environment when it comes to voting, and now it made me think about the original principles or ideas about having people who have more tokens or the early adopters to have more voting power. And it made me think, isn't this the best way to go moving forward, considering these will be the people with more experience and more understanding of the blockchain, of the system, and even better at the community? Because I feel like this solution will neutralize that. And so I was thinking, what advantages compared to the disadvantages that we can derive from this?
Yeah, great question, Mike. So plural-quadratic voting essentially is not aimed to disenfranchise people who are early, like Charles in the early group of people, early adopters. They also realize they can't create a lot of impact by themselves and can't grow like Cardano by themselves. Right. And because of that, they want to incentivize people who join later to be able to participate and for their votes to matter. And the quadratic voting is essentially a path for early adopters, early founders who have a lot of tokens, who are truly benevolent and care about, the chain as a whole, to partner with the newcomers, with the broader community on what truly matters, instead of come to like a whale voting effect, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think also this is a choice for DAOs. So every DAO that will use this tool, open source tool, can choose for quadratic or normal voting, or so it's a choice.
It was something that actually ADAO and Clarity, Clear Contracts, have reached out to me and Snapbella, like, hey, I know you guys got funded with pro voting, and we'd love to see it, because they are building DAO tooling. One click, you can create a DAO, and we would love to integrate the open quadratic voting into it. So we're like, oh, awesome. Let's add on top of it the layer to make it Sybil attack resistance, because otherwise it doesn't make a ton of sense. So we found solutions for that using DIDs and the governance C to make sure that that the solution is able to scale and can support different DAOs. This is gonna be the one of the only solutions, if not the only. Actually, no other chain has this solution for DAO. So we can incentivize more DAOs to join Cardano because of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Great questions. Thanks, Elias.
Yeah,
on
so
to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Thank you again. My name is Nin. I'm the CEO of Sniperia. And let me tell you about Atala Prism, Zero Knowledge Proof, ZKP plus Hyperledger Aries. See, the problem is that Atala Prism is only available on testnet right now. And decentralized identities are only valuable with a lot of adoption. You can have mass adoption if you're on testnet. So a lot of the proposals and catalysts that are claiming or want to build on Prism, they are unfortunately only on testnet. At the same time, Prism is lacking zero knowledge proofs and predicates layer. And what ZKPs are is essentially a core feature for scalability and mass adoption. It also doesn't have any interoperability with Hyperledger Aries, which is the the world's most famous popular self-sovereign identity framework that's been used by ITA, TrialPass, Farmer Connect, and so on, as well as no really standards to make it interoperable with the rest of the industry. So our solution is to launch with Atala Prism on mainnet in about a month or two, later this month or later next month. And we're going to be likely the first commercial Atala Prism partner, and hopefully to launch this not just for us as a company, Sniperia, but for the rest of the community. More on that later. We also want to build the Atala Prism Zero Knowledge proofs and predicates layer, which is again completely open source, and we're partnering with Roots ID team that have been building on Prism for quite a while. And of course, we have already built our Hyperledger Aries for our current deployment of the MVP that just happened past Saturday. So we want to make it interoperable and integrate tightly with Prism, and make sure that it also complies with the World Wide Web 3 Credential Consortium Group Open Badge V3 standard, which a lot of universities and a lot of US states are using, and more countries and universities are adopting, so that anybody that has, for example, graduates or has a credential from one place can use it in another place. Here's a quick video on what is a decentralized identity for those of you that may not know. All right.
Every day, we carry wallets full of cards. However, only a select few, like government IDs and credit cards, are widely accepted. Our society has established global norms for how we present and verify the credentials these physical cards represent. But there's no real equivalent for digital credentials. Why not? First, there's no standard mechanism for issuing digital cards. To issue universally acceptable digital cards or credentials, we need digital identifiers that individuals can own, independent of any entity, organization, or institution. Currently, we use email addresses and phone numbers as identifiers to access websites and apps. But our access to these identifiers and our personal information is at the mercy of service providers who can revoke them at any time. Secondly, there are no universally accepted standards for expressing, exchanging, and verifying digital credentials across organizational boundaries. This is all about to change. A new form of digital identity, based on emerging standards such as verifiable credentials and decentralized identifiers, can enable such digital credentials to work everywhere, be more trustworthy, and respect privacy. Here's how it works.
Here's a little bit about zero knowledge proofs.
To deliver a proof that anyone can verify by themselves. No need to juggle balls around. In fact, you might have heard about ZK snarks, which is used by some cryptocurrencies to protect the privacy of their users. You see, traditional projects like Bitcoin make all transactions public, meaning everyone can see everyone's balance and how they spend their coins. Other projects like Zcash use a non-interactive zero-knowledge proof to hide all of this. That's where snarks come in, which is short for succinct, non-interactive arguments of knowledge. For blockchains, we have to use a non-interactive proof because transactions have to be verifiable by every node on the network. That's how blockchains reach consensus. It would be very time-consuming to prove our transactions to every node on the network. So that's a neat application of zero-knowledge proofs. But what else? Well, here are two more examples. Aside from cryptocurrencies, traditional banks could also make use of this technology. The Dutch bank ING has built a variation of this concept called zero-knowledge range proof. The system is designed to prove that a number is within a given range without revealing the actual number. ING's blockchain team notes that this can be used, for instance, to verify if your salary is sufficient to get a loan, without actually revealing how much you make. Now, of course, you have to pick a large enough range, otherwise you can accurately guess the real number, and then it's not a zero-knowledge proof anymore. Techniques like this could allow the financial world to embrace blockchain technology. Right now, that's very tricky for them because they have to meet a lot of regulatory requirements, especially concerning privacy. With that issue being solved, we could see banks adopting blockchain technology more quickly, which could make their processes faster, more efficient, and perhaps even cheaper.
And that's why zero knowledge proofs is a core driver to adoption. And it's not just by banks, but by companies, universities, governments, and utilities, right? To power things like e-voting, prescriptions, loans, A to Z. It's a lot of use cases. Why is it important? You saw the graph that value of SSI correlates with adoption of SSI. The decentralized identity market is actually growing at almost 90%. So right now we're at 300 million, almost 300 million, but in 5 years, we're at 6.8 billion. So right at the crux of mass adoption. And Atala Prism should be there. Why us? We have already implemented the Hyperledger Aries integration with the mentor-mentee bounties that we delivered last Saturday. We have an awesome team and a lot of partners. We're part of the Cardano SSI Alliance that's led by Atala Prism and other partners in the space to drive this forward. I have an awesome team. We met Joel, that's unlocking literally the Atala Prism to go to mainnet. He's a chief legal officer because of GDPR and CCPA concerns. So he's giving us the legal support that we need, and Tony and the rest of our team. Thank you so much. Please vote.
Thank you, Neil, for the presentation. Yeah, so nice to see progress on your last funded proposals. Yeah, and delivered. Good work. And nice proposals. Yeah. So very interesting to work on deep technical issues in Cardano. We have a great range of proposals. Yeah, and nice to see yours. If someone have questions, please go ahead. I think it's more difficult to have questions about technical checks, but it was a great introduction. Yeah, Ubiu, have you something to ask?
Not a question. I think the high level concept, like which I'm still trying to assimilate it. Like my head just got. I'm just thinking about it. Like
yeah, so
it's very deep. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I believe that the identity layer is fundamental to voting, to empowering people. And honestly, Africa has an advantage because there's not a lot of paper credentials yet. So if we can empower governments to have way to adopt this technology and also reason to adopt this technology,
Yeah, so I have a
90%.
question. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
for example, if I have we are a collective working a cooperative, for example, agricultural cooperative that work in Africa, can we issue with your, after you deliver your proposal, can we use your solution to give digital identities to our members,
so,
and can they for example send zero proof zero knowledge proofs to someone that they have some type of outputs done or work
exactly.
done with
So
us?
this proposal is like building the architecture, technical architecture for other projects to be able to do it. For the last proposal, the Plural DAO voting, if you guys form a DAO, right? Once someone signs up for your agriculture co-op, right? For your agriculture community, then we would be able to issue the verified credential and decentralized identifier for that person on Prism itself, on Cardano native solution. And then they can, and someone like some other project, or someone can ask them, are you part of this collective, and how long you were there? Were you there for 10 years? And they can say yes or no, right? And that's a trusted answer. Yes or no, I'm part of it or not, right?
And they will be using the Atala Prism
yes.
app on phone, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, nice.
That's it, simple and easy. It sounds complicated, but you know, the use cases are just, you'll be able to finally have, you know, verified credentials on mainnet, as well as zero knowledge proofs. So someone can ask you, like a bank, you can go and apply for, you know, banking the unbanked, right? You know, you can apply for microloan or loan, right? And you don't have to tell him how much you make. It just says, it will just ask, do you make enough? And say yes or no. Right.
Nice to see that. So if we are a cooperative agricultural one, and people makes money with us, so they can prove to someone that they earn more than a specific number, but without giving information about how they make it really. Yeah. Nice one. Nice. So it was a great but long meeting. We have learned a lot. Thank you everyone for being with us. Thank you, Daniel, for hosting and for the support, technical support, and all of that. And thank you for all presenters, Steves, and others for the insightful presentations. Thank you very much. And see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that voting. Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye -bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, everyone.
Great.
Yeah, see you next
Goodbye.
time. Don't miss next meetings, please.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Muhammad.